Hey, how's it going everyone? My name is Andrew and welcome back to Andrew's Aviation. Today, after an amazing day of plane spotting at Phuket's airport beach, it's time to go home. And by home, I mean back to Bangkok because I didn't make a hotel reservation in Phuket because I need to stay cheap. Anyways, I flew here from Bangkok earlier today on an ex-WOW Air A321 from Vietjet, which was really fun and interesting. But now I'll be heading back to Bangkok on a Thai Airways 747-400. I've never flown the 400 model of the 747 before, and it's been a little dream of mine to fly one for as long as I can remember. Thankfully, I was able to pull this flight off when I could in December, because at the time of making this video, COVID-19 is still strongly affecting the aviation world, and many airlines are retiring their older, less efficient fleets, which is bad news for any remaining 747s out there. Thai Airways' most likely course of action to this pandemic will be to retire their remaining 747 fleet and then their fleet of Airbus A380s sooner if not later. In the end, Thai probably won't go out of business since they're a government-owned airline, and they've already got plans to become more efficient with new aircraft. So with that said, it's time to fly the old birds one last time. So let's grab a quick bite to eat and head over to our gate. And here's our 747. This plane, delivered in 2001, is one of the younger 747s built since the start of the deliveries in 1989 to Northwest Airlines, and is nicknamed that name which I will not attempt to pronounce and make a fool of myself on the internet.
Pass through here. Hello.
Hello.
Nice fly.
Thank you. A few moments later, boarding began and we stepped on board. Like Thai's A350s, the 747's cabin is very colorful, but it doesn't have the beautiful mood lighting that the A350 has. Still, the pink and purple seats do look very nice. The seats are also configured in a 3-class configuration with 9 in first, 40 in business, and 325 in economy. And another thing about Thai's seating. For domestic flights like this one, Thai won't let you pre-select your seat far in advance. Usually it appears on the Additional Services tab, but because of the domestic seating policy, it doesn't. Instead, everything depends on what you do at check-in. You can either be randomly assigned a seat if you don't care, or you can choose where you want to sit. I chose to sit in seat 56K, which has a great wing view, when you can actually see out the window during the day. But at night, everything is pitch black. So instead of views of the mountains and oceans today, we'll get to see the lights of nighttime Phuket later. Oh my gosh guys, we are finally on board. I'm so excited to do this. Now let's check out our seat. So like with every modern long-haul airliner that's ever existed, Thai 747s have a tray table and a seatback entertainment touchscreen which comes with a remote control found on the side of the armrest. All are pretty old, and the table even has a section cut out in the middle to make room for the screen when it folds up, instead of having a more practical double folding tray table. On the back of the table and chair is a cup holder for a drink that I'll inevitably knock over, and a seatback pocket with a bunch of magazines I'm pretty sure not many people read anymore. Under the seat is a footrest that only works if you don't have a giant backpack in the way. There's actually not too much room under these seats for your stuff, but there is a decent amount of space for sitting humans. Thai 747 seats measure 17 inches of width and a full 32 to 34 inches of pitch. For comparison, that's around 2 inches longer in pitch than the 747s on British Airways. The chair here is made out of a fabric material like they always have been on the Thai 747. The movable headrest still works perfectly and the cushion is actually more comfortable than it looks, but not by much though. I hope if you ever sit in this seat you don't get too hot, because there's no AC nozzles on this plane. So that pretty much wraps it up. These seats aren't that old, but they have seen better days. But it doesn't matter because we're on the Queen of the Skies, baby. Now let's stop worrying about what's on the ground and see what the power of 4 General Electric CF6 engines carrying a light load can do. I know you couldn't see much during takeoff, and I couldn't either. I guess I just picked the wrong time of the day to fly. So why don't we check out something we can see and mess around on the in-flight entertainment. Like I said before, the screen can be operated by either touching it or using the remote. I tried both ways and touching it just seemed easier. The system used is the exact same all across Thai's fleet, which I covered in my last video about Thai's A350. So if you want to learn more about what the system has to offer, go ahead and check out that video. Since we've only got an hour to enjoy this flight, I'm gonna pass on the movies and play a few games I haven't tried yet. Now, I don't consider myself a pro gamer, but I think I got some quick fingers on the controller. A few more minutes into the flight and the cabin started to smell really good, and the crew passed around some warm tortilla wraps and water bottles. They served both a chicken barbecue wrap and a vegetarian wrap with a flavor I didn't quite catch because I didn't order it. This chicken wrap is pretty tasty though, and is a reminder of why I love full-service Asian carriers. Even on a 1-hour flight in economy, they're still serving hot meals and snacks. You'll never see something like this with American carriers anymore. Sometimes you're lucky enough just to get a bag of pretzels off the snack cart. So while no one's in here, here's the bathroom on the 747. Not sure who wants to see this, but I gotta say, it's pretty spacious. You could do some jumping jacks in here if you wanted. So there's about a half hour left until landing, and if I take a nap now, I'm gonna wake up like 10 minutes later when they make the landing call and still be tired. I may as well avoid that and just play a few more games and enjoy the views of the Bangkok city lights. So how good is Thai's 747? From a traveler's perspective, I can see why nowadays it might be not a favorite to fly on. I get that it's really old and it's technically 80s technology, and the plane could use some upgrades. If you're thinking that, you're probably right, but don't forget, a part of what makes the 747 so memorable is the experience on board. I wouldn't consider it retro or anything, but we're talking about a flagship airliner, one that used to bask in the glory days of flying an airline's most prestigious routes. These birds have carried millions of people, billions of miles over the course of their lives, and eventually it comes time to pass the torch on to newer generation of aircraft who will have their own successes. But as a fellow AvGeek, the 747 will always hold a special place in our hearts, and that is part of what makes the 747 such an amazing plane to fly on. So I'll repeat myself one more time. Flying on the 747 is an experience like no other. It doesn't really matter what airline you do it on, but I'm glad I got to share at this moment with Thai. If you haven't been on the 747 and you have the opportunity to do so, I strongly recommend it, but with one disclaimer. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was extremely lucky to be able to do this at the time I did. I literally caught the last possible moment I would get the chance to fly on a 747 and it paid off. But in times of the COVID-19 outbreak when I'm making and releasing this video, please do not travel just for the sake of traveling. The opportunities to fly the 747 may be getting smaller every day, but it's not worth going out into a diseased world and putting the life of yourself or the lives of others at risk. If you have to travel, it goes without saying to be careful, but if you don't need to be somewhere, please stay home. And subscribe and watch some more videos from Andrew's Aviation. So that's my story of my first and probably last 747 flight. What do you guys think of the 747? Any stories, first flights, or anything you'd like to share? Let me know down in the comments below. Hopefully when this is all over, everyone can get their last hurrah in. But for now, that's it for me today. I'm gonna go into my room, sit in front of my computer, and play video games isolated all day. If you liked this video, pound that like button and subscribe to Andrew's Aviation for some more dank videos. And, as always, have a wonderful day everyone, and stay safe.